Nuestras Raíces presenta
Hasta la Raiz.
Hi,
Hello.
welcome back to another episode of Hasta la Raiz. Today's section is called Sana Sana,
Sana Sana.
version mental health.
Yes.
So, as you may know, my name is Naydelin,
And I'm Jazmine.
and together we're really cool.
Always.
And alone we're cool too.
Together too.
Yeah. We're just cool, period. And yeah, so we were just talking about how we really, really like food. And I know we talked about food last episode, but Jazmine said it's always a good time to talk about food.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about comfort food and what we do when we feel down and how we sometimes resort to food to find a little comfort and feel better. It's mostly Mexican food, honestly, but sometimes I just eat like fries or something.
Yeah, or like junk food. Sometimes
Yeah.
like, I deserve it. I had a long week.
Yeah. Like Sonic's right by my house. The $3 chicken tenders.
Oh.
Not sponsored, but it's just close to my house.
Bleep it out. Sponsors.
Not sponsors. Unless you want to. That's on you. Yeah. So speaking of comfort food and how that helps our mental health and make us feel a little better sometimes, a little pick me up, we want to reintroduce the mental health topic, and
We have a special guest today.
this person is really good at mental health thing and knowing what to do for your self-care, knowing what to do with when you're feeling a little down, have someone who needs to be listened to. She's always there for that. On the clock.
So
Just
today-
kidding. She's a really good friend. Yeah, and do you have anything to say about our special guest?
I think you said it all. I mean, she went to school. She learned about it. She's here to talk to us about some important things to know about, or like misconceptions that we have, or not that we have, but like that some people may have.
Yeah, like just some misconceptions about mental health, why people might not believe in mental health, and why it's such a big stigma, mostly in the Hispanic or Latina community, because let's be honest, a lot of our family don't believe in mental health. They don't believe that we're down, that we're sad, that we're depressed. They just feel like we might be lazy. They can classify us as like we don't want to do anything. We just want to be home and things like that when we're just not having it, man. Like, we're
Yeah.
just not having it. Yeah.
So today we have Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Do you want to talk
Hello.
about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, well, thank you all for having me on the podcast. I'll try my best to talk about mental health. But yeah, my name is Cynthia Jara Arroyo. I'm the mental health project manager at Nuestras Raices, specifically in Esperanza. I'm from Walla Walla. I graduated Eastern Washington University with my master's in social work back in 2022. Yeah, it's been 2 years. It's going to be 2 years since I graduated. And I really love what I do. I really love what I do on Nuestras Raices, talking about mental health, bringing awareness to the community about why mental health is so important.
It really is important. I forgot to mention, Cynthia es una licenciada. Le llamamos la licenciada Cynthia. So because she has a master's in mental in social work.
Yes.
Therefore, licenciada. Yeah. So,
Sorry.
how did we meet, Cynthia? Well, let me tell you, she started working with Nuestras Raices the day of her birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that is a wonderful day to remember when you met someone.
Yeah, so I started Nuestras Raices on my birthday, and I just turned 1 in January.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
1 year.
1 year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, and I've loved this ever since. So
Yeah, we love Cynthia. At first, it took a minute for us to bond a little. And it's still taking a little bit because she doesn't hang out with us, but she's still cool. I know we're cool, but she's cooler, I guess. But I love spending time with Cynthia because she always listens to what everyone has to say and participates. And she's just a great vibe to be around.
Thank you.
So thank you for coexisting with us.
Yes.
How did you meet Cynthia?
I think I met Cynthia when I started working at the old building, and I was doing a project for my sociology class, and I got to interview Cynthia. Yes. I actually got to it was my first time ever talking to her, and I got to interview her about her love life, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
I remember.
Yes,
I remember.
I remember that, and I wasn't even part of it. How did that make you feel, that interaction?
I feel like I'm very open. There are some topics that like I won't disclose, but I'm very open with that. And I think mental health in general, like if someone asks me about my own mental health, like I'm pretty open about that.
I think that's something that's important. I feel like a lot of people, like when it comes to like mental health, they get scared to talk about it. It's kind of like a taboo thing. Like they get scared, like, oh, like that person might not believe in it. Like they might think like they might disregard my feelings and stuff like that. And I feel like that's what happens, like when we feel comfortable telling our parents about it. And sometimes parents like just are not believing in that. And I feel like people should be more open and not be scared.
Yeah. And I feel like they sometimes might want to do something, but they don't know how to feel. They don't know how to navigate that. So they might choose a different path. Like, no, like just do something else, go outside and just forget about it. Or ponte a trabajar so you can forget about it and you can have something to like distract you. But they're not like, okay, do you need someone to talk to? Do you need anything? And sometimes, even though you have insurance, probably you want to go to therapy and something, but they don't let you. And I know you have to be like 13 to seek therapy. Is that
without, I think,
without parents' consent?
Parents' consent, yeah.
But you sometimes need transportation from the parents and stuff, and so there's a lot of factors that hold people from seeking help. And without supportive parents, it just gets really difficult. What do you think?
Yeah, I remember when I first talked to my mom about like seeking therapy, because I'm very open. I go to therapy because I believe like also like people that are in mental health also need to, it's okay to go to a therapist, see a therapist. And I go to therapy, and I remember the first time I told my mom I wanted to seek therapy. She was like, oh, well, you can talk to me. And I was like, no, I wanted to talk to someone that doesn't know me, that doesn't and can understand like where I'm coming from. But yeah, I just remember she's like, oh, well, like, don't you trust me? And I was like, yeah, I trust you, but I want to talk to somebody that like maybe is looking outside in.
I like how you put that, a little outside.
Because sometimes it's like we have like, you may talk to someone and it's like, you know, maybe they're like biases or like opinions, and it's like,
and they're like, I believe in this, therefore you have to believe in that, and I did this because of this, so you have to think of it this way. And having this conversation with parents can be very difficult. I know that I've tried to talk to my mom when I was like younger, and fortunately after talking to her a lot, she did help me to find a therapist. But before that, it was just a little complicated. Like, you know, sometimes parents just hear that you're sad and they feel like they failed as parents, and they take it personal, and they're not helping you, they're not helping themselves, and so the situation just gets worse. So that's kind of like the situation that happened for me. So I had to help my case, and I had to help my family, well, my mom, navigate the feelings roller coaster until I got help. But that was like already a long road.
For me, it was, I didn't really talk to my mom about it. Like, and I knew, like, growing up, my mom was kind of like a type of person to, like, no, it's not real, you know, like, she's like, you know, you gotta stick it up and, like, work on it. Like, you'll be sad for a little bit and then you'll get better. And it wasn't until she didn't start believing it until she got diagnosed with depression. And because, like, there was, like, situations that happened, and then that's when, like, you know, she was like, okay, no, it's real because I'm feeling it. And I feel like sometimes it takes people to, like, realize something is real until they experience it. And that's something that it's hard because, like, they're not understanding of other people, and they belittle people sometimes, and they take their own experiences, and then until it happens, like, that's when they're like, okay, yeah, it's time to believe. But I also think it's, like, very important. Like, I think in high school I started, like, seeking therapy, and it has helped me. And since then, like, I constantly go, like, once a month, and I think it's very important. I would advocate that it's important that everybody should go to it.
I really think everyone should go to therapy. I also think that, how Cynthia said, even therapists need therapy, because I don't think that because you're a therapist you have to have your life together. And I feel like, do people believe that? Is that like a misconception or something?
Sometimes it's like
people are like, oh, you're a therapist, you have it together.
Yeah, you have it together, but it's like, no.
You're like, I'm human too.
Yeah, definitely human, and definitely have feelings and, like, emotions that maybe not been processed or still, like, have from childhood. So definitely going to therapy definitely helps with those things. Yeah.
You were saying how your mom would say to just stick it up
or suck it up. Yeah, like, she, like, sometimes, like, you know, like, I would be sad or, like, I'd be crying. She was like, you have no reason to cry. She would be like, you know, like, those moms, like, ¿quieres que te dé una razón para que llores? Like, you know.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah,
like,
do you really want to cry?
Like, it's just, like, it's not going up to, like, me and be like, okay, like, what's wrong? Like, what can I help you in? It's just kind of like, I think, like, traditional Mexican families, like, that's how they were raised, and that's how they think that it was right to be raised, or, like, to raise someone. And it's just kind of like that hard. Like, you got to be hard. Like, you got to suck it up. You can't let things affect you like that. Like, it's just, you can't feel emotions basically in a Mexican household. It's just like, no, that's not okay. Like, you know, like, and I feel like it's important to know that you can't always be happy. That's not reality. Everybody goes through their own struggles. Everybody, like, you know, has issues, and I don't think, like, coping is just disregarding it. I think you need to talk about your feelings. You need to, like, you know, have someone that you can trust. And sometimes, like, you know, we do trust our family members, but, like what Cynthia said, it's just like you need someone from the outside to see it from, like, an outside perspective. Because family members, they may think that they know you. Like, they're like, no, like, I just know that this is how you always act. Like, you always have, like, this attitude. Like, you're just, like, you know, it'll go away. It'll pass. But it's just, like, no, it's just, like, something is affecting me. There is, like, a different problem. Like, there's something maybe at school that the parent doesn't even know about, you know? And so I think in Hispanic households, I think that is, like, something that is very common. And I've actually heard, like, from other families, like other friends that I've had, that they're just like, yeah, my parents don't believe in it, so I don't believe in it either. And I'm just like, why not? And I've heard, like, I was recently talking to a person, and I was like, why don't you want to go? And they were just like, because I don't want to talk to a stranger and tell them all my problems. And I'm like, okay, like, when you keep constantly talking to someone and you get to know them, I'm like, they're not a stranger anymore. So I'm like, it's you seeking help, it's you looking for a person. And sometimes I said, like, it's trial and error. Like, you got to find your person. It's not just like going straight to a person and be like, okay, yeah, this. Sometimes you may not feel that connection with the person, and you may not like what that person is saying to you either. Like, sometimes people can't be always helpful to you. I think, like, in my experience too, like, I had to find my perfect therapist, or like someone that fit me, because I feel like it's just like not everybody's like for everybody. And I think that is very important.
And it's okay to change therapists, because you can like talk to a therapist, and maybe it's not the right fit, and it's okay to find a different one until you find your one that fits you best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did have like a really good therapist back. I used to live in Tri-Cities, so I had a really good therapist because she just fit everything that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke Spanish. She's one of the reasons I came to Easter, because she came to Eastern too. So like, she would motivate me and she would be perfect. And then I moved here, and then all that just changed, and it's been really hard to find another one.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like people don't have to stop looking for a therapist just because they lost like a really good one, or someone didn't meet their expectations. Because I have gone to other ones. Sorry, I just kicked Jazmine.
You're playing footsies with me.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I've had conversations with other therapists and they don't fit me, and so I'm like, sorry, it's not you, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone should have a therapist, and it's gonna take a minute, it's gonna take a while,
Mm-hmm.
but don't stop looking. It's for your own well-being.
Yeah. I have two therapists. So one, when I first initially started therapy, I took a break, and then I went back into therapy, and I got a different one. But one that I like, website I would go to is Psychology Today.
Yes.
And I would read their little bios.
Okay.
And some of them I'm like, okay, like I think they would be a good match. And that's how I met my two therapists that I went to therapy with.
Psychology Today is a really good website.
Yeah,
Also not sponsored, but it's a really good resource.
Yeah.
You can put like the insurance that you have, the area, like what kind of, you can filter your search really good to the point where you can find your match. I haven't, but you might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also like important to talk about like those like you called it like a little breakup, like those little moments where you're just like, oh, I'm sorry. I think some like when it happens to you, like from like the counselor, because I've seen like a lot of TikToks that are like, oh, like when like your insurance like stops like covering you, and like your therapist.
That's how my perfect therapist broke up with me.
Because of
In
the insurance.
They stopped taking my insurance. She ended up getting fired because insurance couldn't cover her either. So it was a mutual breakup. It was so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same day I had an appointment too.
Oh no.
Like I've seen comments like they're like, oh, like they use the time like for my therapy to tell me like, oh, like sorry, like this will be our last meeting because your insurance won't cover.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but
It's a coping mechanism.
yes.
And therapy can be so expensive if you
It
have
is so
no
expensive.
insurance.
And
$200 a visit is crazy. That's not good for my mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also like the medical system. It makes it hard for people to seek help.
Yeah.
I think like they're making the prices like this much, like for people to get help, and it's already like hard for them to get help, and they make it so expensive because sometimes with mental health it comes with medication, and that medication can be very expensive. And
But they charge you that separately.
Yeah, it's separately.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
separately, like on top of like your meetings every month. So
And
much
sometimes people can't just afford that, and so I just don't get it. Like I'm just like why make it so expensive and so difficult for people to
Yeah, why is
access.
mental health considered a luxury?
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's so many people that are dealing with anxiety, depression, that are not going to therapy because of the high cost.
Yeah, like people need to sometimes think, am I gonna eat this like half of this month, or am I gonna go to therapy? Like, why do I consider a priority? And that's why a lot of people don't put like therapy first, because they just can't afford it. Like they can't, like the cost of living is already too high, which is a reason why people need therapy. But therapy, it's considered a luxury. It's not often not covered by insurance, and insurance is hard to get for a lot of people. And like state insurance not always covers. And right now, at least here in Spokane, a lot of therapists are taking just like private meetings, like private appointments,
insurance,
or just cash.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of people, because I have looked for a lot of like mindfulness therapists around Spokane, and they only charge in cash. They don't take insurance, and I'm like, maybe I won't get so picky. But it's just insane how people have to choose between cost of living or therapy to just help themselves with their well-being. It's crazy. Being okay is expensive. And I think this just makes people rise their anxiety, their depression, and not being able to seek help, or they seek help but they're not able to get it. I think that just gets things worse. And people don't understand sometimes how, because they cannot self-diagnose, but I guess you can say I'm depressed or I have anxiety. But how do we tell that someone, not necessarily that someone has depression, but how do we tell that we might have it?
There are some symptoms such as like for depression is like feeling sadness, loss of interest, changes in sleep, energy level, daily behavior. Anxiety is kind of like feeling a fear, dread, uneasiness, restlessness, tenseness, sweating, nervousness. Sometimes with anxiety, you feel it kind of like in your chest, of like your heart racing.
There can be a lot of factors when looking in how to diagnose a person. But I think like a lot of people, when try to diagnose themselves, or they use the diagnoses to like make it a personality about themselves. And I feel like I learned that in school. I took a class where we used the DSM-5 to like diagnose people. Like we were just diagnosing famous people. But we learned that a lot of people, when they get diagnosed with, say, mild depression, like they make it a lot about that, and then they try to diagnose other people. And I feel like diagnosing yourself can be very sensitive. Like, I think we should like take precautions when like thinking of that, or like when, some people say like, I'm a little depressed, but they're just joking. It's just like, no, people do go through that.
Yeah.
And I think it's like important to like keep that in mind.
And be like how you were saying, being sensitive about it, because sometimes people can hear you talk about that, and they can be like, okay, like you say, they might be joking, but let's say I am going through a depression, like a depressing time, like moment in my life, and I hear you saying that you are depressed. I'm probably gonna feel for you, and try to be there for you. But if you're just joking and not taking it like seriously, I'm going to feel like you're making fun of the situation I'm living. And we don't want to make people feel like that. It feels horrible, and we want to be there for others and be there for your friends when they're going through it, but also don't take a toll on you if you're not able to have that, how do you call it? It's not a charge. It's, what's it called? Like that time from you, like that space from you to help other people, like be there, but know your boundaries.
Yeah.
Know
Yeah.
how much of you can give to someone else.
Yeah, like you got to think about like your own mental health as well. Like you can offer help to people. But you got to, and it's something that it took me a while for me to understand, and like going to like therapy, it helped me. Like saying no to people is okay, because you have to put yourself first. You have to think about yourself. And so we want to help, friends and family members. And something that I learned through therapy is just that you can offer that help, but you can't force it upon people. The most that you can do is just like, this is the most I can give you. Like, this is my advice to you, but I personally am not your therapist. I can listen to you as a friend, and I could give you a little bit of advice, but coming to me all the time, you know, it could put someone, you know, down. Like, it can affect you. And sometimes we just have to be like, I'm your friend, but I'm not your therapist. And you can go, you know, seek help. And it's just kind of like putting them in the right direction.
And it's creating a boundary too.
Yeah.
Yeah, boundaries are important. And learning how to say no, that's also really important. Because sometimes we just want to be there for everybody. We want to help whoever we can, disregarding how we might feel about it, how it might affect us, and we cannot help people if we can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to do things that are good for us. Something Laura told us. Laura is this psychologist at Nuestras Raices, and she's so funny, but she's so wise. She said the little exercise to do with ourselves every day is to give ourselves 3 presents. She said something that doesn't cost money, something. Do you know what it was?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. So she hasn't told you this?
No.
She should have. Something doesn't cost money, something that doesn't sabotage you. Is that how you say it? Sabotage? That's a big word. Sabotage you?
Sabotage?
Sabotage. Sounds so fancy. Doesn't sabotage you. And I forgot what the third thing was, but like something that makes you happy, you know? So like 3 little gifts through your day, like eating, I don't know, what makes you happy?
I like to lay in bed. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it real. I like to lay in bed. I'm always out and about, and just being in my bed, being able to rest my eyes for a little bit, literally makes me so happy. Like I do like a little squeal. Like it's real. I'm being honest, but that's what makes me happy.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes to like have a little comfort. Something that makes me really happy is hugging trees. I really love hugging trees, and I love being
You're a tree hugger.
I love being upside down, and I brought this up, and people looked at me weird. But hear me out. I used to do handstands, but now my wrist is hurt,
Oh yeah.
so I can't do that anymore.
Send me videos. You're like, you want to see me do a handstand?
I love doing handstands, and like sometimes I'm just on the couch like upside down, or like on the bed upside down, like. Yeah.
You know, I used to do that when I was little. Like, I would lay on the floor and I would, like, raise myself up and, like, put my legs up. And I would just, like...
Isn't it so fun?
It is really relaxing, so I do understand.
3 handstands a day has been proven that can raise, like, your happiness. How do you call, like, the happy hormone? How do you call the happy hormone? Is it serotonin or endorphins? One of those.
Dopamine.
Like
the little dopamine. Endorphins?
I don't know. It makes you.
Oh no.
I don't know. The happy hormone, the happy chemical.
Dopamine. It's dopamine.
Hug a tree. It makes you happier too. It's also proven, and trees feel it. It's also proven.
I've heard also like putting your feet on in grass. It helps you like really like connect with the nature.
I think I saw someone post about it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just connect with nature, you know, like just go outside in the park barefoot. Just don't step on dog poop. Hug a tree, be upside down by the tree.
Lay in bed.
Or
take some time for yourself, like do skincare.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just take care of yourself. Maybe sometimes like even a shower helps. Like I like to just stand in the shower and like in the water and to feel the hot. Like the bathroom feel hot, and I'm like, like my time.
It's like a shower and a sauna at the same time. I'm boiling in there. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. What do you do as self-care?
As self-care?
Yeah.
I go upside down.
Upside down? Okay.
I lay in bed, or I like to watch comfort movies.
Okay.
I have like a big list of movies that I like to rewatch. So it just, I don't know, like I always watch 13 Going on 30 or my favorite movie, Nacho Libre. Depending like if they're available, because sometimes like, you have to pay for them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay. Like, and I'm like, that's why I have a big list. I'm like, okay, what else can I watch?
I also love well, I suck at it, but I really enjoy cooking for me when there's someone else. So I like cooking for whoever's with me. So like every time Jazmine or like someone comes over, I'm like,
takes
here,
care of me.
Yeah.
comete un taco.
Oh my god, thank you.
Or I'm like, did you eat? And then she's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just get so shy.
I don't know why. And I'm like, here, I made you taquitos.
And then she's like, actually, I made you 4. Like, because she's like, I know, like, 1 is not enough. She's like, here.
Yeah, yeah. Last time she was like, just 1. And I'm like, I just gave her 1. And I was like, but I saved you more.
Yeah.
What do you do for self-care?
I'm definitely a foodie, so I definitely like going to a restaurant, get an appetizer, get definitely my entrees. But yeah, definitely a foodie. I like trying new restaurants too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love trying new restaurants. Yeah.
Me too.
I try to not do retail therapy as much.
Yeah.
Because retail therapy is real, but it's not good for the pocket, you know? Because
Yeah.
then I feel like sad again because my pocket is empty, but I have all these things.
I used to do that a lot, like my freshman and sophomore year of college, because they make us get a food plan. And so, like, with Gonzaga, like, you have Bulldog Bucks. And, I mean, you do pay for your meal plan. And so, like, with the meal plan I chose, I would get, like, $800 on Bulldog Bucks. And so I'd be like, free money! And I would go to the Zag shop, buy a lot of Zag stuff, like clothing, and I'd be like, it was free. But it wasn't. But it would make me feel bad. Girl math.
Girl math makes me happy.
Yeah.
It does.
I like to justify my bad decisions.
Like, getting my nails done, I'm like,
That's free.
it's free. It was free. It was cash.
Yeah.
Or if I get a gift card and then I just have to pay like $5 difference or something, I'm like, that was free.
That was free.
Yeah.
That could have been 50.
You could have.
Yeah.
Or when you find like $20.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is a gift from the universe.
Yeah.
That was meant
That's
to
free
be.
money.
That is free money.
I don't see cash as real anymore. Honestly,
I don't
I just see
either.
it like it's like fake money, so it's not. I
If
didn't
it
spend
doesn't
anything.
affect my bank account,
Yeah, like
it's not real money. But
yeah.
don't take that advice from us.
No.
Don't take that advice from us. Money is money, and please take care of
Yeah.
it because
Please save.
the world is lacking.
Save money.
Save money.
Be financial smart.
And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think like self-care, like you have to go to like a fancy spa.
No.
But it's definitely like doing like small little things for yourself.
Yeah, free things that don't sabotage you. That something else, as Laura said.
Yeah.
We'll ask her on the next episode
Yeah,
what those
we should
little
call
3
her
things.
and ask her.
Well,
She
she'll
probably
be on
won't answer.
She'll be with us soon.
She will be with us. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Laura's coming.
Laura is coming.
Laura is coming to the nearest Spotify you have. Honestly, I like how we talked about psychology today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really good resource for people. And it's a shame that it's not like out.
A lot of people don't know about psychology.
They don't
today.
until they
didn't know
go
about
for
that.
help somewhere and they're like, oh, we can't help you, but you can go on psychology today.
I didn't know that.
Yes, ya ves?
I didn't know that.
We should have
Yeah.
like posters of psychology today, like outside,
Mhm.
being like, just scan this QR code, you can blah, blah, blah.
But
And
earlier you were like, no free promo.
well, it's not a free. I never
I'm
said
kidding.
it
It's a good
wasn't a
resource.
free promo. I just
It's a
said it's not
resource.
sponsored. It's not sponsored, but it's a really good resource to find therapy.
Yeah.
And
That's what
other
we're here
than
for,
that-
though, too. We're here for to give people resources.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying psychology today. Sponsor us. Please.
Yes.
Cynthia's like, please. What other resources can we think of?
I know for students in their schools, they have counselors, and
Yeah.
it's free. I used to do that in high school. I actually went to one of my counselors, and I feel like a lot of people think like counselors at school, like they're there to only help you with like your education plans, like for the future. I didn't think that, and I would like go in there and talk to her. And it wasn't until like I was graduating, she was like, yeah, I only do like private insurance. I'm like, oh, really? No.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should use your counselors at schools. I know like at universities they also have like mental health like counselors there too. I know at GU we do have them and it's free.
And I think at Eastern they do.
Yeah, we do at
as well.
Eastern too.
So look into your schools. I know it may be free there.
Yeah,
especially if you have insurance or something.
Free at like universities. But I also feel like, because I love how you went to your therapist at school, as you should.
Because she had the degree. She let me. So it wasn't like I invaded. Like she was like, I'm specialized in this. Like I was like, okay.
She's like, I'm certified. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in high school I would go to my what's it called? Counselor. And well, I thought she was like a therapist, you know? And I guess she was, but just not for me.
Oh.
And so I would go, but sometimes they can't relate to you, so they don't know how to like help you. And that's okay. But only if you let the person know that you can't help them, you know? Not just drag them down with you.
No.
And so I think that it's important to have like a culturally aware person, like therapist, to guide you and to listen to you, because they're a little more likely to understand where you're coming from than someone who hasn't been through those experiences, who didn't have these conversations before.
I think that goes back to what we were talking about, like finding your perfect match, like in therapist, and like to not get discouraged when you're not finding a person. You were like, no, that person didn't understand me. Yeah. You know, like there is going to be a person out there that can help you and can understand you. Like sometimes, like I know, like for me, like the therapist I have right now, she understands on the level of being Hispanic. And that's something that I love, and that's why I'm still like going to her, because like sometimes in our sessions we speak Spanglish, and I feel very comfortable, and I love that. I actually love that, and I'm like, that's something that I look forward to in each meeting. And I feel like you will find your person. You just gotta
don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up. It's just trial and error, and keep looking.
Yeah, and we also have Nuestras Raices. We also have Cynthia.
Yeah, we also have like a women's support group. We have men's support group, which is also like so important for men's mental health. And then we have like resources if you're needing to connect to like mental health resources, or if you're needing peer counseling. We're here for the community.
There's also an LGBTQ plus peer counseling offered at Nuestras Raices with Lee. So if anybody needs peer counseling regarding that, the LGBTQ plus community, Lee would be there to help. So please don't hesitate in reaching out to 509-557-0566. Yay! Make an appointment with Cynthia, make an appointment with Lee, make an appointment with... That's it.
And it's so beneficial to just talk to someone.
We do have Laura, but they go through Cynthia first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So come to Cynthia.
I'm the intake person.
She's the first stop. I'm the face you see first, but then you see Cynthia. And it just keeps getting better. In all the aspects. Yeah. So we have a men's support group as well.
Yes.
And that has to do with our topic for next time.
Yeah.
Yay!
Men's mental health.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to have a really special guest in the next episode. If you
come back and listen to us.
Yes.
Then you'll see who it is.
You'll find out.
So come back.
Please.
Come back, please.
Please keep watching so we can keep making these, because they're so fun.
It is really fun.
The whole figuring out how to get this microphone set up is not so fun. But once we're in it, we don't want to stop.
We don't want to stop chatting it up.
It's fun.
It is really fun.
Does anyone have anything else to say before?
I think I've said all I've said.
I think I said what I've said too.
Yeah.
How about you, Cynthia? Do you any shout outs? Any?
Just want to let you know you're not alone, and it's okay to seek mental health.
Yes.
It is okay to seek mental health. It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
It's okay to not be okay.
Colita de rana.
Si no sana hoy, sanará mañana. Y si no sana mañana, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. You gotta work for
Vaporú.
it.
Vaporu. Pero if that doesn't work,
If that doesn't
come to
work,
Cynthia.
then
Yes.
Come to Cynthia, 509-557-0566. Make an appointment
call
with
us.
Cynthia. Call us.
Yes.
Okay, then we'll see you the next episode. And thank you for listening to
Hasta la Raiz. Bye.
This was so good. Bueno, some things that we wanted to add to, we kind of left for the end of the video, were some of the events that we have coming up. And we have 3 major events happening in the month of March. We have a little more going on, but it's a little too early to announce them. So we have a legal clinic and resource fair going on March 7th. It's going to be at the center, so it's 1214 East Sprague Avenue. We're going to have Manzanita Law coming to the resource fair, and we're going to have all the services and programs that we have at Nuestras Raices. Just talk about them, tell us what you need, and we'll see how we can help you, pretty much, kind of thing. And it's going to be on the 7th. Starts at 1 p.m. and it ends at 6 p.m. It's a completely free event. Everyone's welcome to come. Bring yourself, your family,
Friends.
friends.
Questions.
Who?
Your questions.
Your questions. I'm like, bring who? Yeah, bring all of your questions. Don't be shy. And this is a really good resource if you're seeking for legal help but you don't know where to start. We recommend Manzanita Law. Also not sponsored, but it's a really good resource. Also, another really cool event that I would be hosting with Luna is called the Bandana Project. It's going to be on March 8th, Women's Day. And this event is to raise awareness about abused women in the agriculture, like in agriculture. So this is a topic that is not really talked about a lot. And so this event, we're going to have a little presentation about why this happens, what this is, and we're going to be painting some bandanas, some white bandanas, and this gets sent to an organization over in California where they hold them as a display, and they are the main organizers for this project. So this goes to them, and this is to raise awareness about this issue because it's a real issue and a lot of people don't know about them. And remember, people in agriculture, farm workers, feed us. And so we want to make sure they are okay, but they're not. So we want to talk about these things. So this is going to be March 8th at 3 p.m., also at the center, 1214 East Sprague Avenue. And we also have an event for and with children. So for people who have children, they're welcome to come with your children. And it's a bonding type of event. Yeah. So we're going to be making maracas with the children. Well, you will be making maracas with your child. And it's just to like build that connection, you know, like you are helping them and they're helping you make a maraca, and then you start shaking and make a lot of noise because kids love noise. Love that for kids. Yeah. And so it's going to be March 13. At 3:30 p.m. It's late, okay? 3:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. And that's, again, March 13th. Maracas with and for children. And
all these events are very important.
And you can find them on our social media, which are...
So we have Esperanza. You can find us on Instagram at Esperanza_Nuestras Raices. Then we have Luna. You can find us at Luna_HBPA.
With 2 A's. Luna with 2 A's.
Luna with 2 A's. So LUNAA_HBPA. And then we have Centro de Negocios. Centro_de_negocios de HBPA. And then the Nuestras Raices page, which is Nuestras Raices Nuestras at Nuestras_Raices_center. And that is for the Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's just Nuestras Raíces Centro Comunitario. Yeah. We also have a folklorico page. Follow it too. Thank you.
Yes, folklorico Spokane.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
We didn't have that here, but we're real.
But
they're real.
They're real. And you should follow us and join.
Classes are every...
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 3 days a week.
Yes.
Be consistent.
Please.
Yes, please. Thank you. Gracias.
We're done. Bye.
Bye.